Is there a way to represent the beautiful sights of our city with some kind of sound technique?
No. Pretty Caroline, oh, 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 stone cold stunner.
Did that guy just ignore the red light? Jesus. I have a confession to make. I'm addicted.
Make 'em scared, yeah, it's the ugly truth. How they come back for you. Yeah, yeah, no. Don't you think you're better off with the neighbors?
I'm addicted to learn new things. Doesn't sound too bad, right? But hear me out. The problem is, I don't get satisfaction by executing the things I've learned, but rather from learning how to get the perfect results. There's always the next level of knowledge. For example, I'd educate myself for weeks how to make the perfect pizza. I start with the dough, go to the toppings, and I end up knowing how to build the perfect pizza stove without ever having a slice of pizza. This goes for many things in my life, and this ultimately leads to falling behind the schedule and not doing the things which are important to me. This week I wanted to collect sound samples in the city to be used as a basis for sound design in my upcoming video game. While I was collecting, I asked myself, is there maybe a certain sound to items we might not hear, but we can see? It turns out there is a way. We can actually hear images if we use wavetable synthesis. So, as my addiction went, I spent the last week learning the ins and outs of wavetable synthesis and learned how to make images audible. Let me explain how. Put simple, any sound we hear is air vibrating at a certain frequency we can hear. The most simple sound is a sine wave like this. This particular one is known as the note of A4, vibrating at a frequency of 440 times per second or 440 Hertz. Our wave looks like this. If we raise the amplitude, the sound gets louder. If we increase the frequency, aka how many times a second the wave will go up and down, the pitch will change from something like this to something like this. With this knowledge, how do we produce a sound out of an image? Well, very simple. We use a wavetable synthesizer. In this case, a software called Serum. A wavetable synthesizer uses pre-existing waveforms. They are organized in so-called wavetables. And the cool thing is, you can seemingly morph between waveforms throughout the table. So, how do we create our own wavetable? We can create our own wavetables by simply drawing them in Serum or providing an image to Serum and it will create a wavetable out of it for us. This works by treating every pixel on the waveform as a point on the curve. For example, brighter areas are higher and darker areas are lower. For example, an image like this, a gradient of black and white, will result in a sine wave again. In Serum you can have a maximum of 2048 points per curve and a maximum of 256 curves in the wavetable. So we have to crop our image to this format of 248 by 256. And also we are going to use grayscale, so black and white images basically, in order to get a smoother curve. And just like this, we have our own wavetables we can now use to make music with. Yeah, that's how Braunschweig sounds like, at least kinda. Of course, these sounds need a little bit of tweaking and adjusting, so like making it more sound like an instrument. But in the end, I think it's a very cool technique, and if you like this video, please consider subscribing, leave a comment below, Or if you didn't like, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time.